And I think the problem that we have with values is that we've written it off as this cognitively simple concept, and we really haven't truly dug to the potential that comes from it. And so this morning we just want to get you thinking about it, and this afternoon we'll dive deeply and roll up our sleeves about it. But I think first we have to think about it. And we have to kind of think about where we are in this. And one thing that became very clear to me is that when it comes to leadership, when it comes to legacy, and when it comes to life, core values are not just another thing. That core values are everything. For a long time, I had talked about leadership. And I'd always talked about core values, but it was on the list of things. And I began to realize until we make it everything, they never have the power that they can have to be strategic and not just some touchy-feely kind of concept. As the book came out, it put me into a lot of conversations, and I began to realize that with Good to the Core, that we had really only scratched the surface. I began to realize truly how complex this is. And then I began to realize that this really, truly is about ROI. But it's not about the ROI that we typically think about, of return on investment, of which most every CEO that I work with would say that they think about return on investment. And I think all of us in our business think about return on investment, but this was a different kind of ROI. It was an ROI that really was about return on integrity. And I guess the way that I looked at it is simply this, is that a long-term return on investment depends on an ongoing return on integrity. That the two ROIs are not separable, but the ROI of return on investment depends on the ROI of return on integrity. And so I began to dive just more and more into this, and I began to realize that this is kind of a 3D operation. How many of you have ever gone to one of those 3D movies where you put on the glasses? So raise your hand if you've been to one of those, right? And the great thing about a 3D movie, although they haven't taken off in masses like I thought they would, but if you've been to one of those experiences, you're in the movie, right? You're not watching the movie. And when it comes to core values as a leader, as a business owner, we can't just watch the concept of core values. We have to step into it in a 3D fashion. In fact, no one can lead it unless they've lived it.